Ladies and gentlemen, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we're going to give you a little bit more of that divisional disaster love that we saw last week. Rang, who is fighting today on Slutsk and with what?
On the left-hand side in blue, we have ourselves Finzent playing as Group Tronia, and on the right-hand side in red, we have White Eagle playing as Group Beslugo.
Worth remembering, folks, that the divisional makeups that you're about to see here from both players were actually created by their opponents for this entire tournament that was run now about a week and a half ago. And was still actually ongoing, if memory serves. Oh my god, are we going to see an artillery observer get killed by an NKVD? Be the first time an NKVD kills something other than his own troops.
Yeah, it's rushing that troop up straight to the front. But yeah, like Ricardo was saying, these divisions made by opponents, so they're very bad, as we can clearly see.
Very also much worth noting. What the heck is he shooting at? Oh, he's aiming to the north. That sneaky bugger. You're going to see a lot of PTRSs over here from White Eagle's troops. Finzent was rather nasty with the deck that he put together. Has a metric ton of those kinds of guys.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that Finzent is going to get off an artillery barrage actually on a lot of this initial push. Less superior PPSHs are going to find out that, that their big daddy over here was not the most polite when he gave him that particular deck.
I do find it funny he has PTRS squads inside his own artillery barrage. Just doesn't care that much, which, you know, I understand, they are only PTRSs. But I wouldn't want to be those PTRSs.
Neither would I. I neither would really want to be a biplane that's just kind of aimlessly going over the front lines, even if it's only a single 12-7 shooting at me.
We got the few T-34s that each deck has, so really these are very important armoured pieces because they can actually do stuff, and the majority of ATs, anti-tank rifles, and 45 mils, they're pretty well armoured in this sort of matchup.
That's true, but PPSHs that we are going to see from at least a couple of these troops, they're still Panzerfausts. So if you look like north of the river, you are going to see a rather rude awakening. Unless we see a crash. Crash almost freaks them out, which I understand.
How many planes will this Yakron B claim? Look at him go! It's just picking off air balloons.
1.5. We are see right now that tank to the north of T-34 was taken out. Actually, I don't know though. I don't think that was a T-34-76. I think that was in fact infantry.
Look down south. It's very red, and it's a very easy red to capture. If PTRS is not actually doing any frontline support or like frontline maneuvering, so this T-34 has pretty much captured this entire southern side.
Is it T-34 the NKVD?
Might be both. Could be probably a combination of both.
Now, it's also kind of interesting to me is that we have these two PTRS squads down to the south. That's kind of sitting there on that arterial and a decent kind of ambush position. And the second that truck comes up, he might die almost immediately, and that would be kind of insulting.
It would be. It's very interesting spot. I do like an ambush position, that's for sure. Oh yeah, the truck's coming.
Either it's going to be a one-shot kill, or he's going to freak out right now and immediately dump out.
Aim for the engine!
Kill.
There we go.
Well, and to the north, we are going to see that White Eagle was also no stranger to bringing PTRS squads in his particular deck. And we're going to see just a whole mess of two-man squads rushing onto the front.
In situations like this, I probably think both players risk that you could probably, if you could use PTRSs against infantry units.
I mean, what else is there? Like, these decks, they're not quite gifted, let's say, with a plethora of true fighting ability.
No.
I do love this rocket run that's going after these trucks. The PE-283.
Yeah, I see him. Go off his leaders.
Wish he had gone for the lead truck, though.
Yeah. Not terrible. Considering.
Yeah, but that's rarely the thing you want to hear. Not terrible.
Down south, right, Eagle is just, manifest dynasty, this entire map. That one T-34 just chewing ahead. He was gonna run into a rather nasty little anti-tank gun.
And if how sneaky, so he's going to have his own manifest destiny, and that is to be brewed up in one shot.
Oh.
But amusingly enough, we actually are going to have a T-34-76 coming the other direction on the southernmost approach. The question really is, will the Convrati be taken out by a subordinate? Like, definitely possible.
I think with this AT gun coming up to help, I do believe Finzent will be, should get the advantage. If he unloads the AT gun, might be a good idea to do that instead of being in the middle of a tank fight.
I think it's more like he wants to be honorable, which I understand. It's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It is shocking how far away these guys are from each other. It really always gives me a sense of awe. This is a shot, and then it's, 2-3 seconds before a shell impacts.
Oh,
I know it's ridiculous.
All the airplanes here really try to stress out that T-34 camaraderie. Barely doing any suppression because they don't have the greatest of frontal armaments.
That's true, but when all is said and done, with, in theory, that 1942, okay, never mind, we have an equal parts issue here. Jeez, guys. And there's a 45 mil.
That should really tip the scales. Alright, never mind, Conradie's dead.
It's still going to kill the T-34-76 because he's driving towards it like he's, the bloody charge of the Light Brigade.
Right into the Russian guns.
Actually, ironically, that reference works all too well. You're absolutely
right. I know, that's right.
I was really thrown for a second there, but if this tank dies, that's a considerable amount of territory to give back, and it is 17-7.
Yeah, and holy crap, a T-34 is just taking on the entire southern side. If he can, move up even more, he can knock out the spawn points, and that's pretty huge.
Assuming, of course, that doesn't get taken out by the PTRS, which, again, these things can be supremely hit or miss, and I don't mean that with any kind of humor. Very, very streaky about whether or not they're successful or not. Yep. Looking back to the north real quick, we are seeing that actually there's a KV-1 that I forgot that Finzent did put in his deck.
A rather generous given.
Yes, and especially under the circumstances, too. Like, PTRSs don't do very much towards those vehicles.
Yep, because it does have relatively good side armor compared to the T-34-76s. So in matchups like this, it really hurts PTRS's killing ability.
It certainly does. Now, and there's... I'm sorry, please go for it.
No, go ahead.
There's also plenty of these T-34-76s. They are only 42 variants, but like we've said constantly on these replays, when you have pop guns for anti-tank defense, I mean, at even, 80, 90 millimeters of armor, that's practically your own private castle.
You're well and truly fortified, but not this national one coming in, however, because we do have the lone Su-88, and, I mean, of course it's, national and powerful, all of that. This sort of matchup, not that great because there's no real heavy armor to really kill. It's just an expensive long gun on a very unarmored vehicle.
True. But at least the HE for these isn't too bad. It's not stellar, obviously, but you can see right here that the damage is up 1.76. And suppression 152. I mean, it's not the worst in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty good considering. It could be much worse. It could be a 17-pounder and not have any HE.
This is also true. Just taking a look to see another member of the biplane Air Force gets taken out down to the south, unfortunately. I'm kind of curious to see what happens to these Dushkas and triple 762s in the north. Because there's still a decent amount of firepower here.
Yeah, I mean, Right Eagle has managed to keep the majority of his tanks alive up north, and in this sort of matchup, just having those tanks up and running is going to do wonders, because now he's in a position, especially in the far northern side, to just shoot anything that comes across the open field, and he has real long-range advantage, especially with the Nashorn.
Well, and with the Konai Razvedkas there as well, the optics are going to be quite good for those tanks. Not going to get too many ambushes there, sir.
Yeah, you see right now he's just pretty much cutting off that town resupply point. And now the rest of the Russian troops now, which is less than a dozen, like a dozen or so guys, considering all that blue space. I mean, god damn, he got a lot of 2 to 4 man infantry squads.
Yeah, but it's much easier to love them when you're not the one using them. So that's just a bit of a thing to kind of recall here.
Yeah.
Now, I'm fascinated to see what happens to the PTRS reinforcement, and I use that in heavy air quotes, that's happening to the north. There is a 45 mil pop gun going in, but all these PTRSs, this is going to be hellaciously bad.
Yeah. I think he's probably just going to set up a second line of defense in the far northern town. Just a PTRS behind every bush, essentially. That'd be the best bet. But I don't think he's going to hold into the center.
I hate to tell you, but looking where he has him right now, they aren't going to a new line.
Oh no. He's just charging. That's not good. I mean, he kind of needs to attack, of course, but now is probably not the time.
Probably not. Luckily for him, though, these tanks are not really engaging across the... There they go. Wow. A bit of a schizophrenic target acquisition there.
Got rocket artillery being dropped into the town from the lone Andrusha in Right Eagle's arsenal.
You're right, actually, I forgot about that thing, but it's nice to see that tube artillery still has its place in this fight.
See Andrusha, because that's a pretty powerful piece to give your opponent.
Well, that was the thing, though, that Finzent was just a very, very generous guy when it came to that. We see, unfortunately for him, White Eagle not quite that generous.
Oh, his deck at Finzent's playing is pretty brutal. It's really nothing here. That's nice. It's just PTRSs and barely any infantry. I mean, he's got biplanes, but with single Yakron B just flying about, those biplanes from a bygone era. Oh, the SU-88 gets killed up north.
Yes, it does. Well, I don't know if there's the Komroti, or the Komrotis, excuse me, or the 45 mil, but either way, this actually might be an opportunity for White Eagle to see maybe some losses? I don't know. It's a possibility.
Here comes the plane. Yep, another biplane gone, and another rocket run up north.
Yes.
Oh, that kill a tank, because that would be a good kill. And it does not.
I thought there were 2 up there, weren't there?
Yeah.
There was a second, yep. The other one's dead. So
he didn't actually shoot all the rockets. He only shot like 4 of him.
4 or 8? 8. 6.
Oh, yeah.
6.
Yeah. Numbers are
95, hard. Yikes. But yes, you can see right now why PTRS squads are specialists.
Not frontline troops. I mean, there's probably more PTRS squads in this match than there were in the actual Battle of Kursk.
Yes. But that is also helped by the fact that in the Battle of Kursk, I mean, they had other ways to get rid of those pesky tanks. Like dogs.
And
yeah, I mean, I still, every single time I bring that up, I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah. Just even the thought of experimenting with it is a bit weird. I know they didn't really do that much in actual use, of course. But it's just, what an idea that was.
Yeah, it continues to be like, oh my god, Ivan, what did you do? Well, I managed to train a dog to go after a tank. Go! That's wonderful! Unfortunately, it was a Russian tank. We see right now 19.5, and it does not look like White Eagle is willing to do anything except put more and more pressure on that exposed throat of Finzent.
Yeah, it's really came down to good old armoured play, and Right Eagle has the armour surely in his hands. He's meant to keep a lot of his T-34s alive, and those 2 KV runs acting as pretty good powerhouses.
Yes, indeed. Well, and that's what you want. You don't want just like a line of flesh between you and the opponent's victory. You want to have a ton of metal. I mean, this is
Mm-hmm.
not Arby's. They don't care about the meat. So, and the last few seconds tick down, and very well done to White Eagle in giving his opponent a completely terrible deck.
Mm-hmm. God awful. Hope to see more of that deck in the upcoming games.
Indeed, and the tail of the tape tells it all.
Yeah.
575 to 1675.
NKVD squad actually did decent for once, actually killing some things.
Not just PTRS squads.
Oh. Yakron B knocking out 1, 2, 3, 4,
Instant ace.
5 instant ace. I mean, definitely one of the easiest aces to get, but still an ace nonetheless. I mean, he could be a bloody ace and roll a run and just by shooting down balloons.
Yeah, but you know what? The balloons I think are actually pretty rough.
Yeah, they shot back.
That wasn't really what I was going for, but I was talking about the durability, but that's definitely
Oh,
fair.
okay, yeah.
Definitely
Because they had the balloon guns or shot, and
Yes.
not the guns, machine guns on the planes with incendiary bullets that were designed to shoot down balloons.
Yes, but let's save a little bit of that kind of World War One aviation knowledge for next time.
Mm-hmm.
But any last thoughts about this game?
What disaster.
Indeed, what a disaster! Oh man, you're a real punster there. But folks, okay, with that in mind, actually, I think this week we are going to take a minor break from the Divisional Disaster tournament just to give you guys something a little bit different, a little bit fresh. Rang, any last thoughts about here?
None whatsoever.
All right, guys, in that case, then we'll see you all next time. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.